What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Klepcx FM, brought to you by CritiX.com. Man, listen, it's been a wild day. I apologize for being late, but we are here today. And of course, a good fashion, I brought my homeboy with me. I'm actually going to have two of my homeboys with me today so we could talk about nothing but Bel-Air episode 8, which I told y'all is one of my favorite episodes. Well, actually, I think this might be my favorite episode. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my man real quick. You guys know him. He's been with me all week. Well, every week, I should say. He's been with me every week. My man, Gene. What's going on, brother?
Yo! Yo, I am geeking, man. It's great to be back. Great to sit here. We are finally at episode 8.
I told you. Right. What did I tell you?
You were right. That's all I'm going to say. I got questions. I got theories. I got questions. It's a spicy episode. And
man,
too, by the way, it's not even like there was anything like monster reveals or anything. It just the way everything broke down. It was like, okay, yeah. It wasn't like there was like a bombshell dropped. It was just more of, yo, this thing's about to go bananas. Like
dude.
Bananas.
First, like I said, I gotta apologize to everybody because it's been a scramble. I've been scrambling. I was doing some video editing and I lost track of time. And thankfully, my man Gene hit me up. I looked at it. He's like, "Yo, you gonna send the link?" And I was like, "Yo, oh man, yeah, man, it's been a long day." So, even the thumbnail picture, it's wrong, dude. Like, hey, listen, accidents happen. This is live. People make mistakes, but here we are with all of you. Shout out to my man William. I see you, brother. I see you not working tonight. You came to join us. I appreciate it. I see the king out there. Yo, we ready to talk about this, man. You said you had questions, and my man Mayhem Madness, he's going to join us as soon as he gets situated. Like I said, everyone's scrambling, but Gene was on time. Gene wasn't on color. He wasn't on color people time. He was on time. So without further ado, guys, let's get into Bel-Air episode 8, which is called No One Wins When the Family Feuds. I love that. I felt like that's like the perfect episode, like the name for an episode, especially this episode. Perfect. So,
and homage to Jay-Z too, by the way. I like that they're keeping it hip hop. They're keeping it culture.
Yeah. So you've seen them all up until 8. Where are you at right now, expectation-wise? What are you feeling about this show? You know, I gotta ask.
Yo, I'm all in. It's in the vein right now. It's in the vein. Yo,
you was just playing with it before. You was playing with the vein before.
I was just now. It's fully in there now. Is it just me or did Will get ultra mature from one episode to the next? Like from episode 7 to episode 8, Will I know it's his birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he went from being like mad immature to all of a sudden like a grown ass man. Like
it's like what I was saying. Like they're pushing through it as though they only got 2 seasons to work with.
Man,
so it gets even with the Lisa stuff. Like it's like, yo, they're like a full-fledged relationship right now. Like they are like together.
And you know what? The more I'm seeing it, if it's only 2 seasons, I wouldn't even be mad.
Mm-hmm.
If they just
I
said
wouldn't either.
We're gonna get him to college, or we're gonna send him off to college, and that's it, I wouldn't even be mad. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. But
I mean, the way it's going right now, I'm not even gonna lie. Like this probably could have worked like a miniseries, or like a straight to TV movie. You know
I would
what
like to see a miniseries. I think a miniseries would have been nice, like maybe like 4 2-hour events.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like something along that side. I don't know if I would have been satisfied if it would have been a 2-hour long movie. Or even 2 hour, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
2 hours wouldn't have been enough. 2 hours wouldn't have been enough.
And now you're talking about getting into the realm of one of my biggest issues I've got with movies now is we're making movies long just for the sake of you guys don't know how to edit. And
facts.
you know, and I think that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest crowd. That's for another day. We can talk about that another day. But I really do like what they did because again, there was nothing in episode 8 that went, oh, like there was no time, there was no bombs. Like I was thinking because of the way you talked about it, there were going to be bombs. But there was so many things that came to light that I was like, oh,
blew your mind, right? And I said that it feels like the most Fresh Princey episode because of the way that the whole family was there. Like, because that's primarily how the show used to play. Like, you would always see everyone convening in the living room or in the kitchen or in the backyard. For the most part, all the things that they were going through would always be like together. It wasn't like this issue over here, that issue over there, this issue over there. It was like someone's going through something and the whole family's going to know about it. So this felt the more Fresh Prince in a dramatic take, of course, but the most that I was like, oh, it feels good to have the whole, like I was calling it curtain call, man. The whole gang was in this episode.
I like how we even had more underlined understanding of the characters as they would actually relate to the Fresh Prince. Yes. Like Hillary being called out on being flighty, and every time something doesn't go her way, you know, to go to jump ship, you know, but in a more realistic manner. We know that that Moms is hella jealous of Viv. She's always been jealous of Viv, and we saw it play out, and we even see Viv's like, it's almost like Viv has always, you know, given her sister props and love for everything that she's done, but she's never really done it to her sister.
Yeah.
Like even in talking, she was like, she put herself through school. She raised Will by herself. She raised Mom. And then it's almost like she had an epiphany, went, wow, have I ever actually really told her these things? Yeah. Or have I just always looked at her as my hero? You know, so it was like so many great things that there were subtle plays that were really nice that I thought that they brought from the Fresh Prince into Bel-Air that made it uniquely Bel-Air, but also gave us, like you said, those Fresh Princean vibes.
Yes. And the funny thing is, because with all the drama that was going on, there's one individual who finally didn't have any drama really, and that was Carlton. The only drama that he really had was, you know, it sets up the episode where he's grounded for the party from the previous episode. And Phil, man, we got a lot to talk about with Phil. We got a lot to unpack about Phil. But he kind of gives Carlton like a glimpse of his dark side, where he's like, I'll do anything to safeguard your future.
Yeah.
And the way he kind of said that, I don't know, man. There was like a sense of entitlement, or like, I don't know. If Carlton would have had that meltdown like he had when he found out that he helped Will, I would have understood if he had it then, at that moment, because he like Phil is just, he's a shady individual. I don't know how you're feeling about him, but after this episode, I definitely was like, I don't know about Uncle Phil.
I think it's the same thing. I think we just fall on different sides of Phil. Mm-hmm. Like you're looking, I feel like you're looking at the side, man, this is shady. And I'm looking at the side of, he's playing the game that white people have been playing forever.
Yeah.
That the rich, he's taking it straight from the blueprint of the people that he has now associated himself with in those circles. And so now he's just trying to make sure that his family can continue this generational wealth dynamic the same way that other families have been able to do, and use their power and influence to better their own stars. So,
yeah, I don't mean it's not a bad thing. It's just the way he's going about it. Like, and we're gonna get into, you know, the darker stuff later, but it was just, I don't know, that moment was just a little weird to me.
It was definitely chilling. Like you could feel the cold in his voice when he said it. Like that wasn't an emotional. hey, I love you, and so I want to make sure you're good. I'm going to do anything to make sure you're successful. It was more like, no. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to make sure that you're to safeguard. I think it was really interesting that he said safeguard as if his future was already predetermined. It was already predestined, and he just has to make sure it stays that way.
Absolutely. I get what you're saying there. My man Mayhem Madness is in the building finally. He has some technical difficulties, so we're gonna add my man in the building right now, and I'm gonna get this thing situated. What up, bro?
What's going on, man?
What up? I gotta introduce you guys because y'all never met. This is my guy Gene from back in the day, and this is my new homie Mayhem Madness, but real name Nick, but we call him Mayhem. And he's had a tough run with this. I gotta be honest, like he's on and off. 1 minute he's digging it, 1 minute he's like, nah, the hell with this show. No, and fairly, like I understand because
I can't be mad at him.
I knew that it wasn't going to be for everyone, and I was trying to coach him through it. I'll be like, I don't know how you're going to feel about this episode, but I know this episode. I know eight going to make you be like,
yeah.
And here he is, So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked my man Gene. Right? You've seen them all, and you've seen 8. Where are you at with this show right now? This season, where are you at?
8 pulled me in. 8 made me wanna figure out what's going on. It would have if it wasn't for 8. After 7, I was lost, but 8 pulled me. It pulled me back in.
Wow! So I'm telling you, this one episode is powerful in ways that it doesn't even know. Like it's literally. Are we happy that we waited till 8 to get this?
No. Not at all.
No. What about you, Gene? You happy that they waited till 8, or you for the most part wish that this would have kind of started earlier?
I think it's difficult, right? Because at one hand, yeah, I would have liked to have got some of this earlier, but also we've talked about the fact that their pacing is mad ridiculous. It's like all over the place. So I could even argue that why are we getting this now? Like, I could even argue that this might be too soon to be getting this because we shouldn't even be this far along in the development of these characters and who they are. But since we're here, yeah, give me more of this. Like, give me more. I need this you can't go back now. You can't go back to frivolous, like surface level stuff.
They better not go back. If they go.
Is anybody else wondering what was on that letter that Jeffrey was about to put?
Hold on, hold on. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. Let's slow climb right now. I want to talk about the fact that Will's mom shows up in this. That was like, I didn't know what to expect when I was watching this episode. I just knew that it started with Carlton and his dad, Uncle Phil. It started with and then it kind of zoomed into Will, with Aunt Viv and being all excited, and then I'm like, are they at an airplane hangar or something? And then right there, I knew immediately. I was like, oh, Vi's there. That's kind of dope. And I kind of got excited because I love the dynamic between Will and his mom. I always have. It's like one of the better parts of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because it's like genuine love. The boy's love for his mother and vice versa. So I appreciate that, like going into it. But what I didn't expect was for them to stop peeling back these layers between Vi and Viv. But it makes the episode dope. And you were touching on that, Gene. But I want to hear what you thought about it, Mayhem. Like that whole dynamic between Viv and Vi, was that the better part of the episode for you?
No, not really, because I feel like we've seen that. We've seen that throughout the show. We've seen it when he talks to his mom. We've seen it in the beginning, the first episode. We've seen it throughout. It just kind of it brought it back, but that wasn't the catching point for me.
Really? Yeah. I know what part was the catching point for you, but we're not going to talk about that right now. I know you only here to talk about one thing, and I'm not ready to talk about that right now.
That's the only reason I came back to the show.
So wanna say that like Vi, who always means well by Will and loves him a lot, she decides that she wants to talk about Will's dad. And this for me was probably the
Bringing
better part
Lou.
because I was on the edge of my seats like, is she gonna tell him? Is she gonna tell him? What's gonna happen? Like, is she gonna tell him? What is this secret? Is there something that I'm missing? Like, why are they making this so damn secretive? At some point, I thought that Phil was probably like his real dad, or
No.
some shit like, or
I
some
know
shit
that
like
you-
that.
Nah,
But
I knew that. I remember when we talked about that. I knew that wasn't gonna be that.
I mean, they're acting crazy right now. Like,
They don't want
she
to tell him
told,
that Lou's a truck driver.
yo, Viv told Phil that she was gonna tell, and you seen how he reacted?
Yeah, he was about to go down her throat.
Gene, you seen how this man reacted? Like, did you
No.
expect that?
Man, listen, my brain's all over the place. Like you thought, you're thinking Will, might have been Phil's kid, and I'm thinking it might be Viv's kid. Like I'm over here like, what? Because remember, this is the dynamic they've set up between Vi and Viv. Viv is selfish, right? She wants things done her way. And and the sacrifices that she's made only came out of she had no other choice. She had kids. She had to take care of the kids. Phil's going and building his career, blah, blah, blah. She's got to put hers on hold. But all throughout her young life was all selfish Viv. Vi has always been the supporter. And they even allude to the fact that she's always on Hillary's Instagram and boosting her up and boosting up Will. Then they talk about how she took care of the mom, how she took care of Viv and helped her get out to LA and paid her bills until she was on her feet. She's always been the supporter. So would it be outrageous to believe? Because we've seen it happen in real life. And the one thing we'll say is that Bel-Air has done a lot to try to tackle real life issues that are not the comedic played up things that you see on the show. So is it far-fetched to believe that Viv had Will, and because Viv wasn't ready and Vi stepped in and went, I got you?
No, it's not when you break it down like that. No, it's not far-fetched at all. I don't know why my brain didn't go there, but that is like the most logical situation. But if that's true, that's really messed up.
Viv said he's going to hate us. Why would he hate Viv and Phil off of his father leaving unless they paid him to leave? That's my other theory.
Okay.
That's my other theory. They paid him to get up out of there.
Paid him to leave. That is paid him to leave.
Well, you don't remember the Fresh Prince?
No. I remember. I totally remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like one of the most iconic episodes ever, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to give us that until like season 2. They're going to hold on to that one tight. If they drop that anytime soon, then there's no hope for the show. Because that's like now. Speaking of Will's dad, there's a rumor going around, speculation, a lot of fan fiction, casting, that people think that maybe Will Smith will not reprise, but will step in as the role of Will's dad. Yeah. What do y'all think? What do you think? I know we talked about that a little bit, Mayhem. What do you guys think about that? And is it something that you think should happen?
No.
No? Not at all?
No.
I don't
Why
know.
Not?
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Give it to me.
I don't feel like it is gonna. I don't feel like I wouldn't. I don't know. Just my mind of Will and Vi. I don't know. I couldn't see it. I can't see it. But hey, if they did, I'd check it out. I guess I could be in it for a little bit longer. But nah. It's not something that I would really want to. Nah.
And you're saying you're with it, Gene?
I'm with it because like who knows that dynamic better? Like I'm with it. I'll take it.
Listen. I'm with y'all 100%, both of y'all. But I'd be okay with it. I'll be okay with it because I know what it means to Will. You know what I mean? And I don't, for some reason, I don't feel like him being in this show is too much or going to overshadow, because there's some great actors and actresses in this show already. It's not like they need Will. You know, it'd be different if they're like, yo, we're bringing Will in because this show's not really doing what it's supposed to do. But everybody can pretty much hold their own. So Will stepping into this, it only makes it better. And I think that him stepping into that role gives him the opportunity to flex on the opposite end, because we saw what he could do as himself, but it'd be great to see what he can do as the dad. But then again, that would be selfish to not give that role to somebody, up and coming. I don't know, but either way, I think that could work really, really, really well if Will stepped in as the papa. Shout out to my man Cyrus. He's in the building. I believe I talked with him about that too. Yeah, he was the one that sparked that in my head about Will playing the dad, and I'm okay with it. I don't hate it, nor do I think it's a great idea, but I don't think it's a bad idea neither. So I mean, I'm here for it.
I'm definitely like, what do you do, right?
There was some minor things that I had problems with in this episode. One of them is it's the same old thing, because when they were like unpacking this episode was like revealing the roots of the family dynamic and a lot of backstory, and a lot of, you get to see how long Will really grew up with his cousins. And then there's baby Ashley, who knows just as much about this family as we do.
Another like absentee Ashley. They showed her on the couch for like a minute.
Bro.
Did she even have like a speaking role? Did she even say anything at all?
I'm like, at this point, I'm like, yo, where's her agent? Like, I need to know. Like, yo, this girl, that's Shorty from Captain Marvel. Getting less camera time than the new faces.
Yo. But you know what? I just have to think that her time is coming, like season 2.
I mean, I can only hope at this point, but like, I'm like, it's getting to the point where it's like, why are y'all even putting her? Because it's obvious. Like, it's not like, oh, Ash came in and did something major and then we're moving on. Like, no, she's like out of it, like all the time. Like, I never get to see her ever.
Yeah,
no. And it's starting to bother me a lot. It's starting to bother me a lot. I don't know. How are you feeling about this, guys? How you feeling?
I couldn't hear what you said. The audio was a little messed up. I couldn't hear what you were saying about it.
Yeah, I know. I saw the chat. I don't know. I was just talking about Ashley, man, like her absentee. Gene, what are you thinking?
I think they don't know what to do with her. It's almost like the content's too adult for her. And so it's like, where do you bring her in at? Because you can't do all of this in 45 minutes, whatever it is. You can't put all of this stuff in. That's why the Will Lisa relationship just continues to just skyrocket forward without us having any understanding of why it's moving forward. Like, there's certain things that are getting left on the cutting room floor, and I have to believe Ashley's one of them.
There's a lot of stuff. I feel like there's a lot of stuff getting left out, and it's just, or there's a lot of stuff that will happen and not be resolved, or there's a lot of stuff that will happen. You'll think it's be resolved, and that'll just be one thing, and then like it's too much. It's too much. Keeps on getting thrown at you. We still haven't like the whole Ashley thing. What did it happen? What did we get? A couple minutes of her, and then that's it. So we jump to another problem.
And
It's just all over the place.
And then they introduced like a pivotal, like a situation with her. Like this was like you just took an iconic character and turned her into this other person, and you only did it for half an episode, and then you never revisited it again.
Yeah, just left her.
And then the same thing with old boy Rashad, like that was a major moment, and then you just never visited it again. Like
nothing.
And then the breakup between his best friend Will and Trey, like, all right, water under the bridge now. We're like already on a whole different, his mom comes to see him, and no one's talking about, oh, so what happened with you and Trey? Like even if it was in the dialogue, I would have been like, okay, I just. There's still minor things, especially in this episode, that are hard to ignore. And the whole Ashley situation is like top of the list. Like I can't even understand why they even have her. Like why even put her in the episode? Just don't even put her in the episode for real.
She's, it's feeling like, like even like you said with his friend, like stuff are just happening and then just getting like it's swept under the rug. Like even another thing, even with Will becoming more accustomed to to where he's at and fitting in, where the mom was like, oh, like you guys come here to dinner all the time, and like fitting in, it's happening way too quick. What are we on episode 8? What was he's been like this since what, episode 4? Stuff is happening too quick. If you're gonna make this a series that's gonna be a long series, and we already have a season 2, why is he already fitting in and getting that like that Bel-Air flavor right now by episode 8?
But yeah, listen, we're like so far along right now that those issues are like they're just like swept under the rug. Like we can't even go back to that. Like next week, if we go in next week and there's a high school storyline, it's gonna be weird. Like I feel like we're far beyond any of that at this point. Like Connor's gone. Like
I feel like that comes back to what I said last week though, Klep. Yeah. I don't think this is a Will show.
Yeah.
And so if it's not a Will show, if it's an ensemble show, then there's going to be certain times that you get like a Will-centric episode. There's going to be certain times that you get a Carlton-centric episode. Mm-hmm. This was the Viv and Vi dynamic mixed with that background of Will, because he's that thread that kind of keeps everything together. But I really do think that Bel-Air isn't set up as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think Bel-Air is simply Bel-Air.
All right. Let's talk about one more issue. Go ahead. Because I got another issue. Go ahead.
But even as it being a Bel-Air show, you're saying it's supposed to be reminiscent of Bel-Air, of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We're supposed to be taking the same steps as we're taking of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay, so
same
all right,
steps,
so this is
same steps.
Not the same. All right, so it's supposed to be reminiscent of the show, right? It's supposed to be reminiscent of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. This show we haven't gave him time to me at least, it feels like we haven't even gave him time to go through most of the stuff that he would have been the new guy, to being how he is all of a sudden now. Like it jumped into it.
I totally agree with that. I do. But as far as, this is a dramatic take. And I would, like I said, I was open-minded to this from jump. I knew they were going to stray a little bit and do some things a little differently. I just have a problem with the way the stories are being told. Like the weaving of each episode, it's not working for me. The absence of certain characters. And then as I get into my next issue that I had with this episode was when Jazz is at the party. And this has been one of my major issues. Jazz and Will are like peanut butter and jelly, bro. These guys haven't been friends since episode 2 or 3, I should say, because I remember when Will was having issues playing ball and he went to the park with Jazz and he helped him out. But when have they been hanging out since? Like, and then Vi shows up at the party and says hi to Jazz, and Jazz says hi to her like he knows her. I don't know if you guys caught that, but she's walking.
Definitely caught it. But that's a part of my biggest issue with the show, which is we don't have a real legitimate understanding of the time between episodes.
Yeah.
Like the way they're writing it makes it feel like episode 8 picks up right from where episode 7 ends. But in reality, that might be like a month. It might be 2 months. We have no clue. And so because we don't have a real legitimate understanding of the time that it's elapsed from episode to episode, it makes it feel weird that Will has all of a sudden become accustomed to like fine dining and that he's ingratiated himself to the Bel-Air lifestyle so easy. We could be looking at him. It feels like he just got there like 8 weeks ago. But in reality, he may have already been there for like 6 months. Like we have no clue.
Yeah,
and that's the part that's weird to me, because that's the type of stuff you see in a sitcom. That's not the type of stuff you see in a drama.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're spoiled, and you look at dramas today like Succession, you know, even like All American and things like that, like how they're taking their time to character build. They're taking their time to character build and weave relationships and things like that. They're taking something that's already, and we've talked about this, they're taking something that's already familiar to us and just kind of rushing through it. But with the bad in this episode, there is a lot of greatness. One in which we're going to talk about right now, because I know my man Mayhem Madness is sitting there drooling, just waiting to talk about his man Jeffrey. We get to see a side of Jeffrey that kind of helps us understand the man. That's how I'm looking at it. We get to see the man and understand a little bit of his moral values and his position in the Banks household. So, and this is the moment where I said we start to see a more darker side of Phil when he wants to get what he wants. He orders this man to find Will's dad and to make sure he never comes or shows up, or Will doesn't find out about him.
I don't know if that was code name for take him out or what.
Yeah, listen. I took that to the most extreme.
Hey, it sounds like nothing to me, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. It sounds like get him up out of there.
It sounds like
if I'm going back to if I'm just gleaming off experience, personal experience, when somebody tells you something like that in those in that kind of world, they're not telling you to go, you know, send them on a vacation.
Yeah, you ain't having a talk with them.
Nah,
not a talk.
He's talking about smudging them off the paper.
Anybody remember this? Anybody remember this dope dealer? There used to be a dope dealer that was after Will.
Yo,
what happened to him?
Son, but then it didn't even end there. So Phil makes a request, and then, you know, Jeffrey, being the man that he is, because he seems like a stand-up guy and a loyal guy, you know, he feels like he could talk to his boy and say, listen, you might be overreacting. There might be a better way. This man, listen.
This dude said, nah, you work for me. So where's your check come from?
He literally just switched on Jeffrey, called him a coon to his face, and told him, do what I ask. Yeah, like literally, he literally put Jeffrey in his place. At that moment, I'm like, damn, Phil, you done turned into a slave master.
Yeah.
He basically said, yo, I don't pay for your thoughts. I pay for you to do something,
But
I'm like, yo, I was just playing pool last week.
so that's
right?
the
Smoking cigars.
That's the interesting dynamic, though, right? Because as long as Jeffrey is existing in the role that Phil wants him to play, everything is gravy. The moment that and I think to a certain extent, if Jeffrey told Phil something, hey, I don't know if you want to do that, he might listen. Which brings us back to the point that you made earlier. Who is Will's dad? Like, why does he have this man shook like this for?
Yo, listen.
Yo.
His
dad might be a gangster.
His dad must be that dude. I'm not buying that he was just some loser who
Nah.
I'm not buying that at all.
Yeah.
I'm tripping on two things. I'm tripping on what Klepcx said, which is, why did this dude all of a sudden go from nice Phil to like almost attacking his wife? You got to be with me on this one.
Yeah.
And why did Viv say he's going to hate us?
Yeah.
That means they did something. They're involved in some type of way. And man, I can't get my mind off of that.
They probably paid him. They probably paid him. I think it's going to be the easier one. I think they paid him to skedaddle.
I like the other one. I think the other one.
Yeah, that might be the one. I think they paid him to dip up out of there. I mean, that's the logical one. Anything else is like extremely messy, and this show is already a mess, and I don't think they want to get that messy. So I really think that it's going to be something about money. And what if? What
was on the paper? What do you guys think was on that paper?
Well, I talked to Mayhem about this. So I thought my thought was because of the conflict that Jeffrey and Phil had, I think he was going to resign.
I think he was resignation as well.
Me too. I think he was about to resign until Will stepped in and asked for the favor.
Yeah, because now he feels obligated to help Will out.
Yeah, that's why I'm in it. I don't know, Nick. What did you think? What did you think it was?
At first, I thought it was probably the location of where he was, of where his dad is. But then when I had to talk with you and they said the resignation, I was kind of thinking, okay, a little more. But as I'm thinking about Matt more too, it could have been information on his dad, and he would have put it on the table. So once Phil read it, he could have done what he wanted. Like, he could have made the shots with that. But then once he's seen that Will was interested in wanting to know where his dad, know more about his dad, he could have took it back. Like, you know what? Let me sleep on this. Let me think about this, and then bring it to Will later on.
See, that it could go both ways. I don't see how that could be wrong either, because I mean, he just did his job, and Jeffrey is a guy that he seems very thorough.
Yeah,
he seems very thorough and quick. Because every time we see Jeffrey, he's like giving Phil the message, like, yeah, that situation got taken care of. The whisper in the ear, yeah, the situation is done. It got taken care of.
Yeah, we took care of that. Don't worry about it. I got you.
I'm
kind of thinking that the Banks is on some Godfather stuff.
No,
I don't know, man. But I will tell you this: the way that this ended, because damn, we rushed through this one real quick. We might be wrapping up sooner than I thought. But it definitely had that ending that had me like, yo, I need to watch episode 9. Like, I need to see it. I can't wait to see what happens in episode 9. That ending with Jeffrey was that, like, we need more interactions with Jeffrey, because I feel like he not only grounds the show, but he's captivating. Like, when you see him on screen and you see him doing what he does, you believe it and you're engaged. Like, even like think about every person he's engaged with. Ashley, he made her story more compelling. Has he done it? He hasn't done anything with Hillary yet.
No.
Not yet. But I'm sure it's coming. You know what I mean? So they need more of him. And I hope I hope we get more of him in episode 9. And I have an announcement to make, fellas. I have episode 9.
Get out of here.
This guy right here.
But we will listen. That's why I'm here to let all y'all know what to expect. So make sure it's Wednesday. You guys tune in. I drop an expectation video, non-spoiler. I don't spoil anything, and then we get together on Thursday and we do this here. But yeah, I'm super excited because I've been waiting, and they waited to the last minute, and I have it. So I can't be more excited, guys. You guys, let me know how has 8 like really set your expectations for 9 or even the finale.
It got me curious for 9.
Yo, they don't even like. Did they win the championship? Like they haven't played any basketball in forever. You brought a bit like it's so much. It's so much. But one thing remains consistent.
Yeah.
One thing remains consistent. The actor that's playing Carlton, he's gonna win. He's gonna win a SAG award. He's gonna win he's gonna win awards.
You think so?
He's killing this role. He's murdering this role.
Who, Carlton?
Yeah.
Oh, Carlton. My bad. I was thinking Will, but you know what? You might be right about Carlton.
Has been the best acted role on this show, from the beginning. He's going to win an award or at least get a nomination. He has to. I
think if anyone's getting a nomination, it's going to be Will and Carlton for sure.
Yeah, I think definitely more Carlton for me personally. Like I like what Will's doing. I think it's been. I think everybody's done a great job in their roles, but what Carlton's doing, like Carlton has made you simultaneously like hate him and root for him at the same time. He is your quintessential anti-hero. Like if you wanted to put it into a comic book, type of thought process, like he's your anti-hero. Like you know that there's some stuff about him that's unsettled, that's made him who he is. That's kind of what endears you to him, and he's playing the hell out of that role, man. Even in this episode where he had a lesser role, just the way in which he was able to draw off of his emotions about the things that were being said between him and his father, and then his interaction with Will and his interaction with his mother, like all of it, he played it in a manner that made you go, yo, he gets it. He's there. Like he understands what's going on. And that's dope to me, man. Like I think he's really done a great job on this show.
I think so too. I'm not gonna lie. Nick, what do you think? Do you think that if anybody on this show or the show period, do you think it's award worthy? Because I'm not gonna lie, I see nominations. I don't really see it winning. I'll be very surprised if it wins, but I definitely see it being talked about because of
I see him being talked about. I can definitely see where he's coming from about Carlton. I can definitely see that. Because at the same time, at first I hated him, but then yes, very definitely anti-heroish, and he is playing the shit out of that part.
Ali Shalatin. I want to make sure I keep putting his name out there because we need to do that for our people. We need to put their names out there and make sure that they're getting the shine they deserve. This dude's playing the hell out of that role.
He really is.
It needs to be talked about more. I don't know if the entire production gets, awards, but I definitely think you're going to hear some people get some buzz.
I don't think I honestly don't. Like, I know that we meet up every week and we talk about this, and we have good people like Will, Sean, my man Cyrus, in the chat. And then I get a good amount of people that come back and they watch, but are a lot of people watching this show? Like, I feel like so. And I don't feel like it's the show. I feel like it's the platform. Like, I didn't realize how many people didn't have Peacock until people were talking about this show being on Peacock. And then I started seeing a lot of friends that I know like saying, "Oh, I don't have that one. I don't have that one." And it seems foreign to me, and I know to y'all because we don't slack when it comes to a new streaming service.
Oh, no,
like
immediately. I need that.
like we're gonna at least give it 3 months before we say, "Nah, I don't rock with it." Because I even tried Quibi at one point. And that was the weirdest streaming platform ever. But do y'all think that do y'all know anyone that's watching this other than us? Because I'm gonna be
Probably like
honest.
one other person.
I'm gonna be honest. The people that are in this chat, I mean, I don't know them personally, but the people in this chat and the two gentlemen on this screen are really the only people I know raving about this show.
I know. I don't know. Well, outside of maybe like a couple of people, like a handful of people,
Yeah,
I don't hear it being discussed ad nauseum. I do know that there are some people like in biz that are definitely eyeing this. Like it's usually a regular topic on Joe Budden's podcast. You know, they usually talk about it. So if it's getting that type of traction where they're talking about it along with, you know, Power, and they're killing, by the way, they're killing Tommy's new series, dude. That thing.
Oh man, listen, Power.
Thing and miss for 50. I ain't even going on this now, but
I wish I had the time to get
goodness.
together with you fellas and talk about Power, because I know Nick loves Power as well. But I can't get enough. Like if 50 wanted to make spinoffs for the rest of his life, I'm there to watch. I don't care. Pick a character. I'm gonna sit there and watch it. I don't care who it is. Give me one of the crackheads that showed up, in New York, and do a spinoff about a crackhead. Oh, you know who needs a spinoff? Kendrick Lamar, Papi. I want him. Mm-hmm. I want his spinoff. Yeah. I want his spinoff. Listen.
Hey, how messed up is my brain? I want to write Will's dad's, like what he's been doing.
Like Will,
I want to go there.
Oh, like a spinoff of Bel-Air following his dad?
Yep, I want something on Will's dad, like from the moment he left, or like
what he was doing,
gone with flashbacks to how he left.
You know what I want? You know who I want? God. The spinoff I want is Jazz.
Not this Jazz.
No. I like this Jazz. Jazz.
But we don't know anything about this Jazz, really.
That's the point. Like I feel, but what we do know is that Jazz just seems like a guy I could just hang out with.
Jazz, like I feel like Jazz's thing would be a stoner show. It would just be like we listen to music. I'm doing little hustles. This dude wasn't even on Insta until Hillary got on Insta. Like
I feel you.
I'm telling you, if there's a spinoff of anybody on this, I need a spinoff of Jeffrey.
Oh yeah, for sure. We need to know what Jeffrey was doing before he got to the Bankses.
We need to know what Black Ops he was with. Before the Banks.
The best part is they could just call it Jeffrey.
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 Sort of like Pennyworth.
Yep. Just
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Someone needs to listen. The internet, listen to me, please. Someone redo the Pennyworth poster and put Jeffrey on it.
Put Jeffrey on it. That would be
please, someone.
That in my life, his character is every time he walks on the screen, I instantly I get a little bit more tense. Like, what's gonna happen? What's he gonna do?
my man Cyrus said Jeffrey would be the Black 007.
Even Will called them James Bond today.
Bond at
the end.
You want to know the crazy thing, right? It's like how the fans and like all of us are like speculating based off of nothing that we've seen. Because we have not seen Jeffrey do a damn thing. It's just the way he carries himself and the way that he dresses. Everyone thinks that he is more than what he is.
This dude is not just a house manager. He ain't no butler, bro.
I think Phil saved him from a concentration camp.
Or took him from the streets.
Something, man. Something. Yeah, man. But listen, man, again, it's been a pleasure, fellas. 8 has really set the bar. We got 2 more episodes, and I think next week we're gonna do some speculating. I want to do some high praise speculating on how we think this whole thing is gonna wrap up. So we're gonna talk episode 9, but then we're gonna put some bets on the table and see how this thing ends. Cause yeah, man, eight just blew my mind, and I'm sorry, guys, I got to throw it in your face, but as soon as we're done, you know what I'm about to go watch.
Yo,
So
I don't even like you right now, man. You lucky I got the NCAA tournament to keep me company, or else it'd be on right now.
But yeah, again, I want to thank all you guys in the chat. William, Sean, my man Cyrus. I'll see you guys. I appreciate you all coming out and stepping through and chatting with us. We couldn't get to everybody. I couldn't put everybody's comments on the thing, but I appreciate you guys talking and chiming in. We were late tonight. We won't be late next week, I promise. Just had a lot of things going on. Yeah, my man Will said he wished 9 was on tonight. I mean, it is kind of, brother. 9 is kind of on.
Yo, shut up already.
But yeah, man, you guys let them know where they can find you. I mean, go ahead, Nick. You're up, man. Let them know.
You'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, at Mayhem Madness.
Gene, where you at, brother?
Hey, y'all know y'all can find me everywhere, social media at Gene Clemens. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go out if you're into that sports thing. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Coach Gene Clemens.
And guys, of course, like I always say, you guys know where you can find us here. Every Wednesday, I drop my non-spoiler reaction to the episode and give you guys, an expectation of what to expect of the series. And then we do the live show every Thursday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern time when we're not late. And I promise that's not going to happen again. And of course, guys, for more movie news, television news, and pop culture, please check out wearecritics.com. If you're a toy lover out there, we work closely with my man Mayhem. He does toy reviews on there. So if you're a collector or you got children that just want to know what's hot, what's popping, and what's not, please come to wearecritics.com and check out some reviews about some action figures and such. And of course, guys, I love to end things off on a positive note. So I want everybody to wake up, be passionate, create, and repeat. And we are going to be out.